Today, we're talking about facial recognition technology, its use in Canada, and whether it is illegal or should be made illegal. This issue came to the forefront of public attention when it was revealed that a number of police departments were secretly using a new and advanced type of facial recognition technology developed by an American company called Clearview AI. Clearview AI had scraped 3 billion photos of people from the internet and created a facial recognition system to exploit that database. Police in Canada began using the software for the investigation of crimes. But what are the problems with this type of technology? And what does it mean for our privacy? How accurate is it? Are police and governments even authorized to use it? And is the technology itself even legal? Here today to talk about this is Dr. Brenda McPhail from the Canadian Civil Liberties Association. Dr. McPhail, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about this. Now, I want to start by talking about what this technology is, and then in our next segment, we'll talk about some of your concerns. So what can you tell me about facial recognition technology, how it works, and who's using it?
Sure. So facial recognition technology, it can be helpful to think about it in relation to a technology we're all familiar with, and that's fingerprints. So at CCLA, sometimes we talk about facial recognition as facial fingerprinting. Basically, the way it works is very similar to a fingerprint. With a fingerprint, the swirls on your fingers, the patterns that are embedded into your flesh are unique to you, and so they can serve as a unique identifier. With facial recognition, it's the pattern of the image of the features on your face. It's the distance between your nose to your chin, to your cheekbone, to the corner of your eye. And facial recognition software takes a series of very detailed measurements of the pieces of your face. It creates a template, kind of like a map. And then it uses that map to compare to images that may or may not be of you to look for a match.
Now, there were police departments in the United States that were using this technology for investigating crimes, and it turned out there were Canadian police departments who were using it as well, although they weren't exactly transparent about their use. What can you tell me about how the police were using it in Canada and how it was discovered?
So it was discovered when a New York Times reporter published an expose, a deep investigative dive into this company called Clearview AI that was marketing this software. Before that, even those of us who are paying attention to this technology didn't really have this company particularly on our radar. And what this reporter revealed was that the way this technology was designed sort of fulfilled the deepest nightmares of privacy advocates in relation to how this technology might be developed and used. Because it was as you mentioned in the intro, it was a technology that scraped more than 3 billion images that people had put up for entirely their own purposes online. So the photos of your kids that you're sharing with grandma on Facebook, your headshot on LinkedIn. Those were the kind of photos that were scraped by the Clearview AI software, often not just without the consent of the people whose photos they were, but also against the terms of service of the platforms. So it's really not true that when we post a photo online, it's fair game for anybody. These platforms have terms of service. And places like LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook have provisions in their terms of service to protect us from this kind of third-party use. But Clearview ignored all of that. They just scooped up all of these images.
And what were the police using them for, using this database for?
Yeah, essentially what Clearview AI did was put all of the images, all of the people who were captured in their scraping into a kind of perpetual police lineup, because they used a facial recognition algorithm that police forces could license, could pay for, could run searches on to try and match it to an image that they had collected either from video surveillance of a case, from their mugshot database, from a body-worn camera. But really what it did is take all of these innocent people going about their lives and posting their photos and plop them into a police lineup to be searched whenever there was an investigation going on.
Yeah, sort of a permanent police lineup that they could access at any time.